morning, everyone, again. And again, thanks for having us. Really appreciate the opportunity to talk to everyone here. So my presentation today is going to be a little bit different. So this is more around a whole digital transformation and really following on what John talked about before. So I've put some notes here which I'll refer back to. So some of the things that we'll touch on really ties back to what we talked about before around compliance, around big data, and around obstacles and overcoming digitization. So we're a reseller of a product called CallN, and what this is at a very high level is a call recording and recording solution. So before we get into that, I'll talk a little bit about us. So Dojo Dynamics, as Jim introduced before, Dojo Dynamics, we're a digital company based in Brisbane. We integrate and we use the latest technology to solve problems. We're a Microsoft partner, so we use extensively the Microsoft backend tools to build our products. So the reason that we started this company is, like Jim mentioned before, we just like solving problems using technology. There's so many cool tools out there. There's so many cool little features out there that people just don't know about, and we want to bring them all together to form solutions to solve people's problems. One of the technologies that we've come across called CallN. They were actually started with the Australian national telecommunication company called Telstra back in 2012, but they've now separated out as their own company, and we're the Australian reseller for this product, and soon to be hopefully the Philippines for this product as well, together with Digital. So why do you want to do speech analytics and call analytics? Well, we talked about this just before, right? We want to create big data sets, and we want to create valuable insights for companies. What does that actually mean? So, quite relevant here in the Philippines is call centers. Call centers are quite big businesses here in the Philippines. And when you have hundreds of thousands of agents working in the call center, it's very hard to manage and get good data out of those companies, out of those teams. And with this product, we can do that very easily. So if you can imagine in the call center, you might have 50 agents to one team leader, but the team leader cannot actually go around and work with every single agent to make sure that the call is up to standard, they're saying the right things, and from a compliance perspective, it's very hard to manage manually. So using this product, what this product actually does is it'll record. So it'll record the calls. Digital calls are all recorded. It'll go through a transcription engine. The transcription engine is done through IBM Watson. So we use the IBM Watson mainframe to do the transcription. We'll create a big data set, lots of data. We'll run it through our platform, which is called CallN Enterprise, and that's where all the magic happens. So some of the benefits, why would you want to use the tool? Number one, it's reduce your operating costs. So right now, if you have one team leader trying to work with 50 call agents, it's very hard to do that. There's no possible way that one person can review every single call from a call center and make sure that every call is up to quality. Some of the main issues are compliance. For example, if you have a high compliance sort of client using your call center, say a tax office, the first thing you need to do is make sure you greet someone properly, and the second thing you need to make sure the person you're talking to is the actual person that's trying to get all the data, and it's not a scammer trying to get data out of it. So what they'll normally do is go through a ID check process. For example, might ask you for your date of birth or your tax file number, your address, your phone number. They ask a whole series of questions to make sure that you are who you talk to. But when you don't do that properly, that's where issues happen. That's where scammers get in. That's where people steal your data. So with a system like this, every call is actually recorded and monitored in real time. So your team leader can see, hey, Agent 23 over there hasn't done proper ID and is starting to give away a lot of personal data that may not be that person. So let's intervene and make sure, we put some further checks in place to make sure all the ID is done properly. The other thing is around quality, it's around QA, it's around compliance. So it is not physically possible for one person to listen through 50 people's call in a day and make sure every single call is at the right quality. There's just not enough time for one person to do that. But with this tool, again, it can do all that automatically for you. It'll give you a report through the dashboard. It'll give you all the data and analytics around that call. And thirdly, increase revenue. Well, how do you think a recorded call can improve revenue? So, for example, again, if you're using this as a sales and marketing tool, if you understand the calls and the data that's coming in, you can refine your pitch, you can refine your product, you can refine your sell, and provide better feedback to your customers and increase your sales. So we've talked about compliance already, increase market share, which is ties in with the revenue, and the main thing is customer experience. So when you talk to an agent on the phone, you want to make sure every person is treated the right way, with the same sort of look, feel, and experience when you call that particular organization. So how do we actually do all that? We use a combination of a couple of different technologies in the back end. We use Amazon S3 for storage. That's hosted onshore. So what that means is that all the personal data remains in country. It doesn't get processed offshore. I don't know if that's a big issue in the Philippines, but in Australia, personal data must remain onshore. We use REST APIs, we use machine learning, and we've got huge security and privacy evidence around covering some of this. So what does this actually look like? We get a number of dashboards. So first thing is you get to see the customer sentiment. So you can see from a very high level, from a team leader perspective, how your agents are actually performing as a team. Are your customers happy? Are they sad? Or are they just okay? We can pick up particular keywords. We can pick up particular topics, and we can see how the score, how the course scores. And we can see the sentiment around basic calls. So it's a little bit hard to see some of these, but if you want a closer look at some of these graphs, I can show you on the computer. But again, this is all very much data driven. So there's a whole heap of data that this particular platform can generate, and then you just mine that data out through QAs and then processes to work with the client and see what they want. And it's just more graph and data you can pick out.
Yeah, so excuse me, the one Adrian is showing is now on the area of analytics. So did you leave what we do? We have business analysis. So we really complement because since they provide the tool for like calling, then our team of business analysts can now use that in order to come up with insights.
That's right.
So that's how the collaboration works.
So this is just a very powerful tool. You can do a lot of recording. I say this is what the analogy I use is this is the gold mine. So all the data is sitting within you. So working with a company like Italy with all the VAs are the miners. They will mine all the data and get all the relevant data for the company and give them really valuable insights into what they're trying to achieve. That's pretty much it. So some of this is really technical, low-level detail stuff. Or this is a technical presentation. That's probably not really geared towards this audience. But that's just a very high overview of this particular tool.
So right now, who are the guys using this kind of
So in Australia, this is used in quite a few call centres. So again, it's all around high compliance type of call centres, and really it's to drive compliance is the biggest thing that is so making sure you ID someone, making sure you correct someone, and the other thing is that with the keywords, for example, if you come to sales, you can see if call a fast conversation with the customer on the phone and see what sort of keywords they're using, and the client will say, "Oh, try to understand what you're doing, but that's essentially try to
So the recording are posted by in your computers or in your
No, so it's hosted locally. Yeah, it's hosted by a server that's local in country.
country.
That
You
we
manage.
manage. But we can also do an on-prem solution. On-prem solution.
If they prefer.
If they prefer, rather than hosting on the cloud, we can set up a local on-premises
Is
solution.
that cheaper or
It's-
less secure?
It will be more expensive to be on-prem because you have to maintain your equipment.
For them.
Yeah. But security-wise, it's fully encrypted. It's all the security boxes on platforms.
I can think of something.
There are many use for this.
Your tool, does it also helps in reducing drop calls?
Drop calls.
Yes.
Yes. So one of the features in this is because the calls are recorded, we know where the number's coming from, and we know who the agent was talking to. So if the call was dropped, you can reconnect it.
You're going to call them back?
You can, yes. Depends on the workflow of the call center. So if the call was quite important and it was going through halfway through maybe a transaction and the call was dropped, you can reconnect it and continue
How
on.
about unanswered calls?
Unanswered call?
Yes.
Again, this won't do unanswered call because this
Unanswered
is
calls, then they hear the recording, they didn't say anything. Do you have to call them back?
We can. So again, that depends on how the phone system is set up at the client. So if the workflow at the client is to place people in the queue and then work through the queue, you can put certain messages in place for those in the queue waiting. Thank you very much. One question.
What makes call and technology stand out from the rest?
So a couple of things. So we use. So one of the big things for us is that we do this is almost a real-time analysis. The key feature of this is calls are recorded, it's processed by IBM Watson, and then within 2 to 3 minutes, the data is up on the dashboard. Whereas some of the other recording and time system is a couple of hours or a couple of days before you get the results.
We have a presence here of Towers Watsons in the Philippines. Yeah, I think that it's not something that we have a familiarity among Filipinos.
Right?
So thousands of employees of Towers Watson are here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's it. Thanks, everyone.
Okay.